The member for Stretton.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I rise to speak in favour of the motion. And when we debate these issues, Mr Deputy Speaker, I think it's very important to put them in context. And I do want to speak about some of the things that have occurred in my electorate, which is the most multicultural in the state and also has far and away the biggest Muslim community of any electorate in the state. To be frank, Mr Deputy Speaker, I do find it difficult to speak about these kind of matters in this place because I do find them upsetting. And I find some of the things that have occurred in my local area very upsetting. But we need to confront these issues now more than ever in the context not only of this debate and also the racist and bigoted speech that was recently made by Fraser Anning. Back in 2001, the Currabee Mosque, a place of worship in my electorate, was set on fire in a criminal act. It was uninsured and the damage was extensive. At this exact same place of worship just last month, Logan Robertson and 5 of his bigoted cronies turned up unannounced and started harassing worshippers, including children. Mr Speaker, fortunately these kind of incidents usually don't happen at other places of worship in other parts of Queensland. But it's this kind of harassment that the Muslim community in my local area have had to put up with. Unfortunately, Mr Speaker, it doesn't begin and end with the incidents I just mentioned. Just last year before school, there was a pig's head thrown into the grounds of the Islamic College of Brisbane, which is in my electorate, and you do have to seriously question what kind of people would target children in this way. Mr Deputy Speaker, when reforms were introduced in the last parliament to debate petitions with more than 10,000 signatures, it was a proposed development in my electorate that included a place of worship for the Muslim community that came up for debate. You would have thought there may be some big issues of state significance to come up under this provision, but no. The Leader of One Nation got up in this place and spoke about a development miles away from his electorate simply because it involved a religion he didn't like. I certainly do not dispute the right of people to have their say in relation to proposed developments and exercise their legal rights. However, during this period, my community saw offensive signs placed on one of the main roads in my electorate near one of the biggest primary schools in Queensland. We also saw disgraceful and sickening anonymous flyers letterboxed in my community, and I actually received them in my own letterbox. Mr Speaker, I find all these things upsetting and difficult to talk about here. However, I'm not even the target of these things. If they make me upset, I can only imagine what effect these things have on people who are the target of these actions. Mr Deputy Speaker, I went down to the Currabee Mosque after the most recent incident, and the vast majority of the community saw the incident for what it was, the foolish actions of a small minority of people. They put on a brave face and they carry on, but ultimately these kind of incidents do tremendous damage to community cohesion. Unfortunately, it seems there's always going to be a small minority of people in any community who do the wrong thing. And I often hear it argued, Mr Deputy Speaker, that Muslim community leaders don't condemn the actions of people in their own community who do the wrong thing. The fact is, Mr Deputy Speaker, and the reality is, they actually do it all the time. I see them do it all the time, but it seems that, unfortunately, there are some people who simply do not want to listen. And, of course, members of the Muslim community and community leaders don't just speak out. They open up their places of worship. They hold forums to engage with the community and invite community members into their homes to share meals with their families. Yet it seems to me that whatever members of the Muslim community do is never good enough for some people. The concept of trying to enforce a white Australia policy or a ban on Muslims is patently ridiculous. I can't see how you can ban a religion. I can't see how you can ban the beliefs of thousands of people in my electorate and indeed hundreds of thousands of our fellow Australians. Mr Deputy Speaker, you can't ban someone's faith and you can't ban what is in someone's heart. Members of the Muslim community in my local area are doctors, they are teachers, they are business people, they are police officers and they are community volunteers. They make a huge contribution to my community and they are our fellow Australians. Mr Deputy Speaker, we all in this place need to come together and stand up against this racism, this hatred, and work together to build a better Queensland. And I call on all members to support this motion.
Thank you, Member for Stretton. I call the member for Surfers Paradise.